where Bach meets hip-hop with a strong message about stereotyping. Jeffrey Brown looks at the musical group Black Violin.
Will Baptiste and Kev Marcus, the members of Black Violin, two former high school orchestra nerds. That's how they met. But also, by their own description, two 6'2" black men who are eager to change perceptions about who plays what when it comes to music. Their new album is titled Stereotypes.
I think that's probably the main agenda, right? I mean, you think of...
You use the word agenda?
Yeah, I think so. You know, if you look at us, and we don't look like your typical violinists. You know, that's, you know, we talk to the kids all the time, and the kids love us just because we can relate to them, so to speak. You know, and that's what it's all about: breaking stereotypes.
I look like I should be a linebacker, but to be a violinist, when I realized that, I was just like, I love it. I'm drawn to it. It's the thing that's why I wake up in the morning, is to take the violin and kind of change people's perceptions about it.
Blending classical music with hip-hop, traditional instruments, Marcus on violin, and Baptiste on viola, with contemporary backup. Black Violin is reaching audiences around the country. We met them recently at the Public Playhouse in Cheverly, Maryland. They've played the Apollo Theater in Harlem. They met with American troops in Iraq and have opened for top pop stars, including Alicia Keys. It all began in an ordinary, even accidental way at Dillard High School for the Performing Arts in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Was it your choice to pick up the viola?
Well, my mom made me do it, honestly. So, I mean, but, you know, now I thank her every day. I mean, 25 years later, I can't believe I'm still playing this instrument.
To be quite honest, I didn't want to pick it up. I wanted to play the saxophone. They put me in the wrong class. That's my story. True story. But, you know, I'm grateful now that I've, you know, black saxophone just doesn't have the same ring to it, you know.
You were telling me, Will, earlier about the high school, the rigor of the training, right? I mean, you were always playing?
Always playing. Always
playing
had
in
a
orchestra,
concert.
playing in a quartet, concerts all the time?
Exactly. Concert every weekend. We had viola technique class, chamber music, orchestra, youth orchestra. I mean, you know, we had a ton of classes, but that was a really, really good thing at the time. It was very like, oh, I got another concert, I got another, you know, got to rehearse.
The genre-bending music they play today is a direct fusion of their musical training and passions.
Think of it this way: we studied classical, but we lived rap music. So
you studied
we
one
studied
and
one
you
and
lived
we
the
lived
other.
the other. Yeah. So you know, second period every day we'd play Bach and Beethoven and Mozart, but on the way to third period we'd be listening to, you know, Biggie or Tupac or whatever we liked at the time, whatever was hot. So when it came time to blend them together, we did it so naturally and so seamlessly that it didn't even seem like we were doing anything groundbreaking at the time. We were just naturally, you know, I would hear that hip hop beat and pick up our violins and play to it.
1, 2, 3. Nod your head to the beat and get up out your seats and put your drinks down, get your hands up, move your body to the beat.
We're bridging two worlds together. You know, we're bridging hip hop and classical and you know, jazz and funk. And what that does is, to me, particularly with the kids, it just, to them, they're like, oh my God, this looks incredible. It sounds incredible. It looks impossible. Maybe I can do this with literature, art, or science, or anything that I have a passion for.
A Black Violin concert is a dancing, even shouting affair.
Make some noise.
They play their own compositions, such as the song Invisible.
I need you guys to help me out. I'm not invisible. Clap your hands, come on. I'm not invisible.
And cover hits like Ed Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud.
I'm thinking out loud, baby. We found love right where we are.
But there are also slightly older hits, like Bach's Brandenburg Concertos.
Bach to me is the equalizer. Beethoven, I just, anything late Beethoven as far as chamber music is concerned, I just love. I'm very excited about classical music. I think what we do is just different. It's not, it doesn't elevate it, it's just different from classical, just like it's different from hip hop. We get to create our own lane and walk in it, you know, on our own, and hopefully others follow.
Yeah, because the question is, how does Bach, and what does Bach say to, you know, Jay-Z or Tupac? I mean, what are they saying to one another?
Honestly, I think if Bach were here today, he would say, "Good job, fellas," because honestly, if you think about classical and hip hop, they're not so different. You know, in the Bach world, I mean, back in those days, I mean, someone would pay Bach to write a specific piece for a banquet or a party. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Bach was the producer at that time, the hip hop producer, so to speak, at that time. So it's not so different from today's age right now. You know what I mean? So you know, there's a lot of
I'm not sure I've heard that before. Bach is a hip hop producer of his time. Braxton St. Hill, age 7, part of the Washington, D.C. Youth Orchestra, was immersed in the concert from the front row. His mother, Anola, told us he'd had a bad cold, but wasn't going to miss this.
And Black Violin, when I get on as you, I'm gonna play too with you. All right, bye, Black Violin.
Earlier, I'd asked Will Baptiste and Kev Marcus where they hope this all leads.
I think a lot of kids are now open to listening to a Mozart piece or a Beethoven piece because of what we do. So I think we're creating, and also hip hop as well, the true essence of hip hop, which is creativity. Someone that would never listen to hip hop is seeing hip hop in a different light.
Whoever you are, whether you're yellow, purple, black, young, 5, 70, whatever, just come have a good time, and hopefully you're educated, entertained, and inspired.
And we are Black Violin. Here we go.
In January, Black Violin will set off again on a 30-city U.S. tour. In Cheverly, Maryland, I'm Jeffrey Brown for the PBS NewsHour.